in my phone.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Ryno.
Hey, what's going on? The Kings kick off 3 games at home in 4 nights. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is the fork in the road for the season, in my opinion. 2 massive games against the Lakers, first beginning tonight here at the G1C. We're going to talk about it. A lot of Kings dinged up. We've got updates on the injuries. Also, talk a little bit about LA. We'll see what Coach Brown had to say after shoot-around yesterday, and we'll look for the latest status on Trey Lyles. He had a setback this morning at shoot-around. We'll get into that and more here on the pregame show on If You Don't Like That.
Grant and Ryan break it down. It's Sacktown, we're the crown.
Needs to be more aggressive on the offensive end, but this is the time to get in.
Williams, the D-Box.
Bucks, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like.
What's going on? Ryan in Sacktown with you. Hope you're having a great night, getting you ready for the Kings and the Lakers coming up at the top of the hour from the Golden One Center. Kings looking to get the bad taste out of their mouth from last game against Denver, a wild game in which they gave up over 70 points in the paint. A lot of that due to Keegan Murray not being available. Keegan is available tonight, as well as Domas and Kevin Huerter. So Mike Brown's going to have a little bit more of a bench to play with. Now, Trey Lyles had made some decent progress throughout the week. In fact, Trey talked about his progress yesterday after practice. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel more than ready to go out there and compete tomorrow.
Oh, sorry about that, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, I feel more than ready to go out there and compete tomorrow, and that's my goal. And hopefully, coaches and the staff will also agree with that.
So Trey, I guess, tweaked it, was not feeling as good this morning at shoot-around, which downgraded him tonight to out. Just updated now. He is out of tonight's game. So the Kings will go one more night without him, but having Keegan Murray back makes a huge difference for this team. Also, Domas, you noticed the hard fall he took last game. Looks like he's going to be okay to go. Little bit sore, but he is all right. He did talk to the media a little bit before, or I should say after shoot-around. Here is what Domas had to say about the fall and also just how he is feeling in general.
How are you feeling?
Feeling better, for sure, yeah.
Much better. I mean, what was the last 24, 48 hours?
It was good, just a bit sore after the game, but yeah, I'm feeling better.
Is there much that, you have to see what happens between now and tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll just, go out there, shoot, and see how I feel.
If you don't mind, what were you feeling?
Just soreness the whole back, bruises.
Yeah. Does Domas never, or is there a point where he's not bruised somewhere or bleeding somewhere? Guy is a machine. Let me know where you're watching from. Check in with the show. You can call the show using the QR code that's above Bennett's right there. You can use the link in the chat. I'll put that right there. And we now have a new feature as well. It doesn't work when Grant's on with me, but if you would like to call on this show or the King's Court, you can call 916-822-9485, 916-822-9485. There's the number for you right there. We're brought to you tonight by Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland, the third location, 3 in the greater Sacramento area. Get to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. I'm telling you, get to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Prime cuts of seafood and steak. You will not be disappointed. And so many of you have gone out and given Bennett's a try. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support. I know Brian appreciates the support, and most of you have had nothing but great reviews of Bennett. So go check them out. We'll talk about them more here in a little bit on the show. So the vaunted Lakers, the closest thing, well, I'm not going to say the closest thing. I guess Golden State's kind of in the same category, but one of those times where the Golden One Center turns into like a high school game, a college game where you've got a split arena because those front running bandwagon Lakers fans who just got their gear earlier today, they fill up the arena, and it's kind of a fun thing to be a part. I love seeing the Kings fans go back and forth with the Lakers fans. The difference in this one is it is massive. I can't tell you how big it is for the Kings to get this win tonight. They need to get out to a really fast start and set the pace for this Lakers team, a Lakers team that's 14-12 on the season. In fact, why don't we look at where the West stands right now? You'll notice the Lakers hanging on there to the 10th play-in spot, the last play-in spot. As we sit today, LeBron rested, has had some time off. He is ready to go. A little bit fresher than he was a couple of weeks ago. You know, he had played every game up until about a week ago. Lakers coming off of a big win against Memphis, by the way. Anthony Davis, 40 points in that one. We know Sabonis's success in the past against Anthony Davis. Ant has only won one game against Domas in his career. Does that continue tonight? Can Domas add another one on top of it? We'll get to the breakdown in a little bit. Want to hear from you guys in the chat too. Go Kings, beat LA. I couldn't agree with you more. You know, I think I got that in the sound bank for you. We've got a beat LA chant somewhere. Here we go. Beat LA. Beat LA. Beat LA. Beat LA. Such a trendy but lovely chat there. Tay, what's up? Beat LA. Yes, indeed. Frog. Yeah, he's not going to do it. You know why? Tomorrow is the year in review. If it was any other show, you might get that. If you remember, V and the Fee came on my show at the end of last season. We had a great conversation. In fact, it's the third most downloaded show since I started the Kings Court, where we talked about the Kings-Lakers rivalry. We take it back all the way to 2002 and even a little bit before that. Fun show. But yeah, V and I definitely have been in contact about this one because he is a diehard Lakers fan. Light the beam. Yes, indeed. Feel like the Kings need to come out and make a statement. It feels like tonight's going to be one of those nights. It really does. I love how the Kings match up with the Lakers. The one thing that the Lakers do well, it's iso ball. It's one-on-one. It's identifying mismatches. You saw it last time the Kings met the Lakers, and quite frankly, I put that game on Coach Brown. I know many people were not happy with the lack of adjustments in the fourth quarter of that game, which led to LeBron James starting the fourth quarter out with a ton of buckets. In fact, I've got the stat sheet right here for you as we continue to look at the West. LeBron started out the fourth quarter making 7 straight shots, which pretty much put the Kings in the hole. The Kings made a little bit of a run at the end, but they were trading baskets with the Lakers, ultimately losing that one 131-127. This is the second meeting of the season. You've got the third here in a couple of days, and then the fourth takes place on the 28th of this month. So by the 28th, the Kings are done with the Lakers. Weird NBA scheduling. But to me, with the way that the playoffs sit right now, with a Kings team that's hovering around 500, and when you look at the schedule that's coming up for the Kings, not just for the rest of the season, but you look at what they have left on their home court in terms of opportunities to make a run, it just jumps off the page to me that this is the stretch at home that the Kings have to get it done. As we bring the schedule up right here for you to look at, You've got these two with the Lakers, and then you've got Indiana and Detroit, and then you are back on the road at LA. You finish 2024 on your home floor against the Mavericks. Now, if you look down the schedule, there is not really a bigger stretch of home games. Maybe in January, Houston, Washington, Golden State, maybe that's all right. But then you scroll down to March. And March is a murderer's row of a homestand. You've got Memphis, you've got Cleveland, Chicago, Milwaukee, Boston, and Oklahoma City. Boston and Oklahoma City are back-to-back games. Going back to looking at the Western Conference really quick, there's a few teams that you feel like are going to come back. I think Phoenix, I don't know that they're going to be able to stay healthy the rest of the year, so I'm keeping my eye on Phoenix. I think they may come back to the pack. I think Oklahoma City, Memphis, Houston will probably fall a tiny bit, but they are going to be in the top 6. Dallas will probably move up a little bit. Denver may come back unless they increase the depth on that bench, but Minnesota probably staying there. Golden State, the Clippers, and the Lakers. Those are the 3 teams that I think are going to come back from where they're at now, and you have a perfect opportunity to kick the Lakers back to 400 with these 2 meetings at the Golden One Center. If you lose both of these games, this team, I truly believe, will be battling for a play-in spot the rest of the season. You win both of these games, I feel like it's a different story. Much different story than you see him again one more time before the end of the year. A lot was made last game about the start that the Kings had. It was slow. They were down 20 in the first quarter, giving up some easy baskets. You know, Mike Brown talked about the back picks and not paying attention to detail, the game plan. Why are the Kings not executing the game plan? Well, we've talked about it on this channel. We've talked about it with Jerry Reynolds. We've kicked it around, and there's clearly a disconnect. We just don't know where. Because Coach Brown seems to be drawing up the right sets, drawing up the right game plans, but he says the guys aren't executing. So where is that disconnect, and how do you get this team to come together, follow the game plan, play together for as close to 48 minutes as possible? It's been asked. In fact, it was asked yesterday after practice. DeMar talked about making sure the Kings are taking advantage of open shots, because last game against Denver was not so much about the Kings not executing in the fourth quarter. The Kings executed well in the fourth quarter. They just didn't get stops. You look at how Denver ended that game, and they ended it on 4 straight made baskets. Can't have that if you're the Kings. Here's DeMar DeRozan talking about open looks.
We missed a lot of easy shots at the end of last game. You know, we made 1 or 2 of those shots. You know, get even one stop. You know, we win that game. You know, we just gotta tighten up and just play with more confidence late in the game and late in those moments when those shots come.
What was your perspective on what happened?
I expect the Kings, the pace of this game is what's going to be really big for the Kings tonight. The Lakers are 18th in the NBA in pace. LeBron, although still playing good basketball at his age, AD, they don't like to get up and down the court. This is an opportunity for the Kings to be able to run the Lakers off the court. However, the one problem, the one thing that the Lakers are very good at, it's isolating and identifying mismatches. A lot of ISO basketball, drawing fouls. Can the Kings play physical without fouling? That is going to be very important, because if they can't, that by default is going to slow the pace of the game down. Coach Brown had some very strong words talking about last game and also the face of the franchise. Here's Coach Brown on the details.
Be interested to hear if any of our guys think any different. The paint points that they got, you know, it was just way too easy. And, you know, one of the things we told the guys, we said, hey, we're 3-9 in games decided by 5 points or less, and not just against, you know, quote unquote great teams. You can mix in some teams that don't have good records in there. And, for us to be 3-9 in those games when we have two of the most clutch guys on offense in the game, that means, A, we're not starting the game right, and teams that shouldn't be in the game with us at that point have confidence. Players have confidence because the game was too easy to begin with, all right, because we didn't pay attention to the details, go out there and hit first and establish and or set the tone. So now they got confidence that's hard to shut off. That's why they're in the NBA. And then second, we're going through these lulls that we have to change. We have to lock in and focus for as close to 48 minutes as possible. Otherwise, we'll be good, then we'll be bad. We'll be good, we'll be bad. And at the end of the game, who knows what can happen?
Saying the two most clutch players in the league. Can't disagree with that. DeMar and De'Aaron have been right up there since they have started counting clutch time. Donald hopping in on the chat. Feels like the Kings need to come out and make a statement. We hit that. I do think they will make a statement tonight. Kings competing with the Knicks / T-Wolves tonight. Interesting. Yo, what's up, Beamers? BJ says, Beamer's into house. Where's everybody watching from tonight? I always like to do a little check-in. That's okay. Lakers fans will witness the beam tonight. Let's hope so. Let's see. Loving all the chats. Manny, what's up? I am not Grant, but I will pass that along to Grant. He will be here, Manny. Make sure you join us again. Halftime. He will be here also with Jerry Reynolds and myself. We'll break down the first 24 minutes. We'll give our second half predictions and our keys. And then after the game, Grant and I wrap it up, taking your phone calls and hopefully talking about the Kings being back to 500 and hearing a bunch of this from you. Johnny Finch in the house. LeBron will be rusty. Yeah, I'm not going to buy into that so much. Last game, LeBron played 34 minutes. He was 7 for 17. He had 18 points. Austin Reeves playing point guard now, taking over for D'Angelo Russell, who is clearly on the trade block. If you've been paying attention to a lot of the reporting, clear advantage. Jerry Reynolds said this yesterday on the guard line. Much of an advantage. LeBron actually had some media availability earlier today. He doesn't usually do that with a smaller group. He did. He talked about how he's had to change his game a little bit according to the style of play now in the NBA.
The game of our sport has changed a lot, and how teams, play the game. As far as obviously our game is a lot of space and pace and 3-point shooting and things of that nature. So I've had to change my game and my mindset onto how to incorporate that. And
What's up, Wolf? They don't like pace. I'm telling you, 18th in the NBA in pace. That is where the Kings have a clear advantage tonight. The pick and roll, clear advantage tonight. The Kings cannot fall in love with the 3-ball. They've got to hit their 3 balls, but they cannot rely on that. You have to make them feel you, just like Coach Brown said. And also the officials. Don't let the officials decide how the game's going to be reffed. You set the tone on how the game's going to be played. Come out. Some of these guys, one guy in particular, Colby Jones, I'm really looking forward to see how Mike Brown, or if Mike Brown, works Colby back into this rotation now that you have Kevin Huerter back tonight. That's something that is going to be interesting because he has been putting more and more trust into Colby Jones the last few games as we look over the stats for the Lakers. And Colby has performed very well. Didn't score a point last game, but he and Keon Ellis are responsible for the way that game turned around, for the way that pace picked up. So, Frog, Ryan, I think with Monk in the starting lineup, he'll have a really good game. Look, the scoring, the starting lineup, the offense has not been the problem since Malik Monk has entered the starting lineup. 8 games now, the Kings are 500. The scoring has been on point. The problem has been the communication, the defensive breakdowns, the lulls that Mike Brown talked about. Flores in the house. Just hope the refs don't control the game tonight. That's why I just said you gotta let the refs know how the game's going to be played. You don't let the refs tell you how the game's going to be played. Force their hand. Keegan is good to go. He tried to play through that left ankle injury, which ended up swelling up on him, which is why he sat out last game. They've got the swelling to a spot where he likes it. Lineup alert. Kings will start Fox, Monk, DeRozan, Murray, Sabonis. There you go. Thanks, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Captain Obvious. No, I'm just kidding. Good job, Dennis. Appreciate the help there. Getting back to the chat, Isaac Jones, we'll see if he gets worked into the rotation. Not sure. BJ, irritated with the lack of readiness here at home. Well, interesting enough, as I bring you back in, very interesting that you say lack of readiness. Last post-game show, we looked over the numbers between the Kings playing at home and playing on the road. Their net rating was about 3 points higher at home, but that's largely due to the big blowout against Portland. And nothing really jumped off the page. There wasn't any huge discrepancies between home and road. But then you look at the defense. The defense is where it's at. The Kings at home, their defensive rating is 23rd in the league out of teams on their home court. Their defensive rating on the road, 9th. So why is that? Why are the Kings not guarding as well at home? It's the question that a lot of people are looking to answer. The 3-ball is one thing you can certainly look to, but coming out, being ready to go, being focused on the little things, that is what Coach Brown has been harping on. And Coach Brown took it to a different level yesterday after practice. He called out the face of the franchise, your star point guard, De'Aaron Fox. Here's what Coach Brown had to say.
It is. It starts with me. It ends with me. But Fox has to step up. He's a great player on the verge of being a superstar. And there are those guys, and there are the superstars that win at a high level. And part of his responsibility, starting with him, now that doesn't excuse Domas, that doesn't excuse DeMar, that doesn't excuse Malik, and even Keegan at a young age, doesn't excuse everybody. But you have a lot of responsibility if you're that guy, and he's that guy. And he can't be a part of not being locked in. And he for damn sure can't be a part of letting it go if we're not as a team. And so the pressure is on me, and the pressure is on him to go get it done.
Speaking of
strong comments from Mike Brown. Look, we know Foxy gets into it if you piss him off. You don't give him a call. Gets into it. I think Mike Brown's trying to get Foxy to come out right from the jump and be that Fox. Can he do it? Absolutely. Talked about it on the show earlier. He has something that nobody else in the NBA has. The speed, his ability to create, easily the fastest human being I have ever seen in my life with a basketball. And most NBA GMs and players agree with that. Use it. Use Sabonis. The pick and roll has been huge. And it's not just on Fox. We can say Fox needs to come out with that fire, but that onus is also on the coaching staff. You need to make sure that you have a game plan, you have sets, you have plays ready to go right out of the gate that get De'Aaron Fox downhill. That is so important to this team's success. When De'Aaron Fox is getting downhill, it opens everybody else up. So Kings and the Lakers coming up here in just a little bit from the G1C. The Kings look to get back to 500. Massive, massive game for this team. Speed kills. Yes, it does. Speed is so important. BJ hopping back in. Tonight we're going to need a lot of ball movement. 100%. That's exactly where I was going at with the pace, as BJ continues to say. Greater than 25 assists, team defense, box out, take and make mid-range, get to the free throw line. Foxy, yeah, well, the Fox formula. The Fox formula is this. 3-point attempts, when they are in line with assists for him, you're getting the best version of De'Aaron Fox, and you are usually getting the best version of this Kings team. As you look at what the Lakers do well, they're pretty good at playing without fouling. That's the veteran piece. They are an older team. Now, you got Dalton Connect, a name that's been thrown around here in Sacramento. Should we have drafted Dalton? Would he have fit better? We can debate that forever. We won't know. In fact, nobody will know for the next 4 or 5 years until you get a big sample size of him and Devin Carter. But he does give them a little bit of a spark off the bench. The Kings have to be cognizant of that. Coach Brown calls them hot guys. He is definitely going to be a hot guy tonight. But outside of that, Rory Hachimura, he's been an issue as well for the Kings at times. Those are the guys that the Kings cannot let get going. When you let those guys get confidence, as Coach Brown says, that a lot of times leads to where the Kings get in trouble at the end of the games, because maybe those guys aren't great 3-point shooters. Maybe there's something in their game they've been struggling at. Well, when they get it going, they're human beings. They're basketball players. They're in the flow. There is an energy to basketball, and it translates, and it goes from quarter to quarter to quarter. So the Kings might play better at the end of the game, but you still have guys that have it going. So I go back to the 3-point percentage that the Kings are allowing. They are second worst, at defending the 3-pointer in the league. If that's what it's going to be, fine. It's going to be second worst. But what you can't do is be the third team in the league that allows the third most 3-point attempts per game. That can't be allowed. That's where the Kings need to clamp down a little bit. But back to the Lakers, turnovers, 8th in the league. You know why? Because they don't share the ball very much. They're 13th in assists, but they're very short assists. They're here and there. It is not ball movement like we are used to seeing with some teams like the Clippers, teams like Oklahoma City, teams like Memphis. It's more of that ISO. Rebounding, not a great team either. 25th in offensive rebounding, 24th in defensive rebounding. The Kings have got to own the boards tonight. You own the boards, you can own the pace in transition. But what the Lakers do well is they get to the free throw line. 4th in the NBA in free throws attempted, 4th in made free throws this season, meaning a lot of ISO ball. That's where I said pace, play, defend, physical without fouling. If you're able to do that, you've got a damn good shot at winning this game. And that goes especially for your bigs. Sabonis, you got to have him on the floor tonight. You absolutely do, because you start bringing in Alex Len, you start doing the center by committee. That is where the Lakers are able to usually take advantage of some of the lineups. If you're just joining us right now, we're getting you ready for the Kings and the Lakers. Domas, Keegan, back into the starting lineup tonight. Keegan talked a little bit about the journey with his ankle after shoot-around.
It was like, I think it was a Houston game. I jammed my foot, and I'd just been playing through it. Then the night before we played Denver, it swelled up on me. So then it was just at a point where I just couldn't go.
So that's what happened to him. Swelling is back down. So he is going to go. No minutes restrictions as far as we know. As for Trey Lyles, he will not be giving it a go tonight. He had a setback. Super unfortunate. He was feeling good. He talked after practice yesterday. The only 2 players not to practice yesterday were Keegan and Domas. Here was Trey. He was really optimistic yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I feel more than ready to go out there and compete tomorrow, and that's my goal. And hopefully coaches and the staff will also agree with that.
So again, he had a setback. He is a no-go tonight. We'll have to wait one more night for him. Other than that, the Kings are fully healthy and ready to go. Lakers are going to be without their 2 bigs, Jared Vanderbilt and Christian Wood. Jackson Hayes not available as well, and Jalen Hood-Schifino is not available either. The Lakers coming off of a big win, as I said, against Memphis in their last game. 40 points for Anthony Davis in that one. Lakers 14-12 on the season, 5-9 on the road. Sacramento 13-14, and a number that's got to get better, 6-8 on their home court. 6-8. Kings favored by 4.5 in this one. So getting you ready for tip-off. Trey back and Devin Carter going to be back soon. Not that soon, Dennis. He's not being reevaluated until the end of January, early February. And that's reevaluated. So if he's, let's say at the earliest, he's really reevaluated mid-January. Okay. Let's say they give him the green light to start doing more individual work with some contact, meaning bags, meaning assistant coaches working with him. Then you've got to get back up to game shape. Now, granted, you've got the legs because it's shoulder injury, so you can do a little bit more cardio, but that does not simulate NBA play. That does not simulate game shape. Then you're probably going to have him in Stockton for at least a week to get going, get some wind to him. It's going to be a minute until Devin Carter's ready to go, even if he is cleared mid-January. So we'll see. Anything to give the bench help at this point is a good thing, no doubt. Look, this bench is not a bench that needs to come in and score 40 points a night. This is not like the bench mob back in the day. This is simply a bench that needs to maintain and hold whatever the starters have built. If you're looking for the bench to give you a lift, to give your starters a lift, then the Kings are in trouble. They are in big trouble in that scenario. Looking back at the last time the Kings and the Lakers matched up, a couple things jump off the chart. Obviously, LeBron's massive fourth quarter, that was a big problem. And I put that squarely on the shoulders of Coach Brown. The Kings did not adjust whatsoever to the pick and roll. They were getting the switch that they wanted. I believe it wasn't Fox. It was somebody else on AD. It wasn't Keegan, but they were getting the switch every single time. And Braun went to work. Field goal percentage for the Lakers, far too high, 51.1% last time that they met. Also, the Kings allowed them to shoot 34 threes. 34 threes, not bad. That's actually under the number. The Kings were sharing the ball, though, 32 assists. They allowed 32 assists to the Lakers as well. Turnovers last game were relatively high, 14 for the Kings, 19 for the Lakers, and the Kings still could not capitalize. Shot attempts is also something when we talk about pace for this Kings team that's important. Last game, the Kings took 102 shots, 102 against the Lakers in the last meeting. They only took 88 shots. So getting you ready here for the Kings and the Lakers, a massive game for Sacramento. Massive. I know Donald said he wants to take it one game at a time. Donald, massive. One game, massive. This is the biggest game of the season to date for this team. This is the biggest 2 games of the season to date. This is so much like the end of last season or towards the end when you had those 2 with Denver with Dallas, and the Kings lost both of those on their home court. It's going to be a similar fork in the road with what the Kings can do with these 2 games. Are they going to contend for a playoff spot, or are they going to be contending and trying to get a play-in spot? I truly believe these 2 games will give us that answer for the remainder of the season. Sounds crazy, right? I do have another answer for you, by the way. If you are looking for an amazing place to get a prime cut of seafood or steak, think about Bennett's Restaurants. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com. Learn more about all 3 of their locations here in the greater Sacramento area. The West Side Grill, their newest one in Rockland, located in the Blue Oaks Town Center. Whether you're in the mood for a steak, piece of their wonderful blackened redfish, or even a great salad, their steak Cobb salad, Bennett's has a little bit of everything for you, and every single day they've got some type of special going on. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 o'clock. Weekend brunch, one of my personal favorites. They've got prime rib also on the weekends, and so many more specials. Get over to the website, bennettsrestaurants.com. You can look at all of them. You can also make reservations if you got a holiday party or a get-together, New Year's gathering. You can rent one of their private dining rooms. They're awesome. Love their private dining rooms. All have a little bit of a different vibe. Same great food, same great service. You can put your to-go orders in right now from the website as well. So huge thanks to them for sponsoring the pregame show tonight here on If You Don't Like That. That is Bennett's Restaurants.com. Make sure that you let them know that you heard about them here on If You Don't Like That when you go in. And also let us know when you go in. We'll retweet it. We'll send it to Brian. We'll let him know and pass that along. They love getting that feedback. So thank you so much for supporting them as many of you have. We really, really appreciate it. Also, make sure you're subscribed. If you don't mind, give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out with the algorithm. And get ready, because we've got a ton of content left for tonight. Halftime, Jerry Reynolds will be back with us here on the channel. And then post-game, the flagship, Grant and I wrap the night up for you. Kings and the Lakers taking your calls and hopefully talking about a victory. I really don't see the Kings losing this game. I don't. In fact, I think this is going to be one of the better performances of the season by this team. Not saying they're going to win by 30 points, but I think this is going to be close to a wire-to-wire victory for the Kings. I truly believe that. I think they're fairly locked in. I really like the matchups against the Lakers. As long as those guys, certain guys, the front line, can play without fouling, they can control the boards and control the pace. This is going to be, I think, a very good night for all of you and the rest of the Kings fans in the area. Oak Park in downtown isn't much better than Stockton. What are we talking about with Stockton, y'all? Okay, so here's the thing, y'all. I've said this for a minute. Where Stockton plays, it's not that part of Stockton. I get it. Stockton has had some bad crime rates in the past. If you take I-5, it's one left turn off the freeway, and then it's a right turn into the parking garage that's connected to the arena. Get down there. You would definitely enjoy it. Trust me. Dennis, 130-120. Kings. All right. Love it. BJ says they're going to Stockton. I'm down there all the time. I have a great time covering that team down there. Elvis, they're doing a lot of stuff down in Oak Park right now. A lot of stuff. I was just down there not too long ago. Need to throw a zone press. I don't know about that. Easy living country. Maybe. I don't know how I feel about the press. I've been less than impressed with how the Kings have been able to scramble out of the doubles in the presses. Now, a little bit of full court pressure, all in there. The Kings, if they can push the Lakers, again, Jerry Reynolds said this yesterday, they have a distinct advantage on the perimeter tonight. The Kings guard line is much better than the Lakers guard line. So push them out. Make them start their offense from places they don't want to start it from. It makes a huge difference. Ryno said it's the good part of Stockton. Look, okay, if we're going to go down this Stockton rabbit hole, I'll be real with you. Look, I'm not a huge fan of Stockton altogether. Nothing against you, Stockton. It's not your fault. The residents, people that live there are nice parts of Stockton. Okay? There are also not so nice parts of Stockton. And my wife and I, we have had some weird experiences there. But where you're at for the Stockton Arena, in the things around that, the waterfront, there's an incredible Mexican restaurant, not as good as Bennett's, but a very good Mexican restaurant right there on the water that we frequent when we're in that area. It's not that part of Stockton. I'm telling you, you don't have to walk the streets of downtown Hollow Stockton to get to the arena. You park in the parking garage. It's connected to the walkway to the arena, and you go in the arena. Not bad at all. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Down there all the time. I would not lead you wrong. I ain't leaving my car parked in Stockton. All right, we've got a ton. Anybody else want to get in on Stockton right now? Jason Kelsey, you got anything to say about Stockton?
Arlington, Dallas. Real geography lesson.
Also, the butthole and armpit of America.
Hey.
I mean, we're going in on Stockton. You guys are bringing the Ryan in Sacktown Romy character out right now, who makes fun of Bakersfield and Fresno. Don't bring that person out. Come on. Come on. Give Stockton some love. Bulletproof jacket. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Here we go. So off track. We've got a massive Kings game tonight. Tip it off. We're talking about good parts of the city and bad parts of the city. All good. What are your final scores? At least give me those if we're going to continue this conversation. Holy crap. I did not think we would be going in on Stockton. Taking your tank to Stockton. You have a tank. What is it? A Cybertruck, Furious Wolf? You got a tank? Come on, man. You ain't got a tank. Here we go. Yes. Dennis knows what I'm talking about. BJ's bringing his rocket launcher to Stockton. Come on, man. I'm wearing the 209 right now. Don't do Stockton like that. Gabriel Harris, Coach Richardson. Don't watch this broadcast. That's them saying that, not me. I'm saying it's not that part of Stockton. Not that part of Stockton. That, you know what? You can't run away from that. That was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. The organization handled it the right way. But yes, that was horrendous. No doubt. Thank you, Flores, getting us back on track. 128 to 122. Come on, your rocket launcher? Rocket launcher smack on the pregame show? What's next? You can ask Grant to do a rant on Stockton? Poor Stockton. What did it do to any of you? Greatest pregame show ever. Finch has been to Stockton with me. Finch sat courtside with me. That was even a playoff game, right? Playoffs? That was a playoff game, I think, Johnny. Come on, it's not that bad. Yes, that place is fire. So good. So good. Bennett's is better. But yes, yeah, love that restaurant. Love that restaurant. I know. Who has a rocket launcher? There ain't nobody in here that has a rocket launcher. Come on. Furious. Who said they have a rocket launcher? Is it Andrew or Furious? Hold on. We've got breaking news. Breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Somebody in the chat has a rocket launcher. Allegedly. Allegedly. All right, Ryan, you convinced us. We're going to Stockton. I'm just saying. I put my reputation on the experience. If you go to a Stockton Kings game, you will want to go to another one. You will see guys that you recognize. You'll be able to see media personalities that you listen to, maybe you watch on TV. You get a good basketball game more times than not. Hard played basketball game. And you can sit, like any of you that have ever sat close to the court at G1C, it's an expensive seat. $3,000, $4,000. You can sit on the court for $130 down there. It's a great experience. I'm telling you, go do it. Oh, now we're going American Gladiators. American Gladiators, the tennis ball launcher. Holy crap. Let's go get Ryno's crew out there. Yeah, Lyles is out tonight, Flores. Unfortunately, no Trey Lyles tonight. He suffered a setback this morning. just had some soreness, was not feeling right. You do have Domas. You got Kevin Herter. You also have Keegan Murray back in the lineup for you tonight. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to lay off Stockton. Gosh, man, what am I going to do with all of you? Your musket. Now, Flores has a musket. Flores, you don't have a musket. Get out of here, man. T-shirt launchers, paintball guns. What? Bow and arrow doesn't want any? Slingshot and a rock? Come on, man. You guys are killing me. Give me my show back. Holy crap. All right. Speaking of shows, make sure you join us back at halftime. And leave the Stockton talk out of it at halftime, please. Come with your final scores. Come with your thoughts. Come with your keys. Jerry Reynolds will be here with us to hit them and get you all ready for the second half, y'all. Appreciate everybody, even those of you that are, taking it out on Stockton that never did anything to you that I know of. But yes, make sure you join us back. We're going to have a good time at the half. Thank you so much for being here. Go Kings! Light the damn beam. We'll see you at the half with Jerry Reynolds right here on If You Don't Like That.